And for the office and position that I was hired then as the information system security officer for the Homeland Security, and my team were supposed to be in charge of the computer systems from Tyson Corner all the way to DC and the whole of DC and Maryland. But the handler that was supposed to assist in the processing of my clearance for that position ended up, and there are people sabotaging the office, and that is the reward I received from Trump. So I have a reason to be unhappy and angry with him, but I was never angry, because then the moment the Lord showed me what they were doing, that they did not want me around them, and he told me to reopen back my businesses, and told me what to do, and I'm glad I did, because it wasn't going to even be compatible when they were already telling me I could be pulled. I only have 1 hour to get on a flight or to go to respond to any situation, which was not comfortable. What if I was on the mountain and I cannot be reached? And what if I'm on the altar and like in this service is already more than 2 hours? Should I stop the service and get on a flight to go to respond to critical situations with no excuse for me as a man of God? So I was glad I didn't. So I'm not mad. So I don't want anybody to misunderstand anything that I have said or will say in the future to be as if I have any ill feeling. I can't, and I never had an ill feeling against what anybody does, because by the grace of God and upon whose power that I am able to do whatever that I can and will and need to do when I can no longer bear it, with the power of the Almighty God working wonders and miracles and signs, demolishing and destroying every stronghold. So I bear no grudge, but I am against the things that I am seeing that is going on, going too far to stop him from being able to express himself, to being able to make his case, to be able to establish, because we have questions that he must answer that cannot be gagged. In order for me to cast my vote, I must be sure that he's going to go there and do what he said and not be disobedient again, which was the reason why he was removed after the first term. So we must be careful that the things that we do must be things that get the souls of men first. And the souls of men are those souls of those that are going to cast the vote, left or right. We must be sure. If you use equity and in our justice system, then why then we are having this as if we have a world that is oblivious of what has transpired in our country? We are in this country and we saw the Black Lives Matter and their supporters. We saw interruptions of proceedings and processes. We saw burning of courts. We saw destruction of government properties, the killings of policemen, and all the running over and running down with vehicular manslaughter and vehicles and things, people losing their mind when he won. We saw all the trials and all the tribulations that he was subjected to, the investigations and the attacks of insurmountable nature that we all talked about. When we saw a lot of white young people protesting against the slavery, and the Lord decreed that they must not be tried, and Trump did not subject them to any kind of subjection and any kind of persecution. Those that have caused all the damages that were not persecuted, because he listened, and the Lord said, you are responsible for the damages that they have caused, for you are the one that locked them up and have caused the problems and have made their mind sick. Yes, we oppose that. So if you want to talk about equity, then every one of them should be tried. For you continue to engage in things that continue to divide the country. Things that continue to cause problems. Things that have continued to affect and cause harm to our society. The homogeneity of our society. These are things that must be answered And we hear, and even though we know that even Trump do not help himself, for he continued to harm himself and continue to say and do things as if the power he operates belongs to him. He has been fighting to save himself and a taste of the power to see how much he can, battling with some powers, a very, very small power, and have not succeeded and is not succeeding, so that he can appreciate the power of God that protected him when he was the president. With all the persecutions of Mullah and all their cohorts and things that has happened, was it his power that kept him? So that he can see the power that kept him and see the power that is dealing with him, which is a subservient power of the Almighty God, and decide whether he will come on the side of the Lord and give his life. I am not convinced that he have learned any lesson yet, because I have something that he must answer. So when you give him a gag order, will the gag order stop him from answering to us before we decide whether we want to vote for him or not? When you want to stop him from being able to express himself. Because I heard that the former President Trump said that he has done for Christians what? More than what Jesus Christ did for them. So he does not count himself as a Christian, even though he professes to be Christian. And then we open his mouth to say that he has done for Christians what Jesus Christ could not do for them. We will want him to respond to that particular accusation that I heard. I heard him say that he do not care about Christians and evangelicals, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, because he had done for them more than any president had done for them, which means that he himself is not one of us and he's not a Christian. But he wants the vote of Christians and evangelicals. But I did not take an offense because of his ignorance, because of who he is, because he did not know God and did not accept Christ.